You don't lose your power overnight. You lose it one woman at a time by trusting the wrong ones. This video is not about hating women. It's about protecting yourself from the 8 most toxic female archetypes. The ones that waste your time, drain your confidence, and kill your momentum without you even noticing. If you've ever felt used, confused, emotionally manipulated, or like no matter how good you were, it was never enough, this video is going to explain exactly why. Each type I'll show you is based on real patterns, with examples and mindset shifts that could literally save you years of pain. Don't skip. Don't click away. Because the woman you're dealing with right now might be in this list. And if you miss her type, you'll repeat the same mistake again, just with a different face. So watch this until the end. What you'll hear today might not just change your dating life, it might change your entire future. Let's begin. Type 1. The victim queen. The woman who plays the victim to control you emotionally. She's not looking for peace, she's looking for an audience. At first, you'll feel noble. You'll want to protect her, to prove not all men are the same. But that's the trap. She doesn't need a man. She needs a witness to her pain. Picture this. She says, "Every man in my life has hurt me." But she won't mention how she ignored the red flags, how she chased after danger, how she stayed long after she knew the cost. You'll offer stability. She'll call it boring. You'll offer solutions. She'll say you don't understand. And in the end, your reward for being her safe place will be emotional exhaustion. Here's the Machiavellian truth. Men are quicker to forget the death of a father than the loss of inheritance. Because people mourn power more than pain. And the victim queen isn't mourning trauma. She's mourning the control she never had. Here's the solution. Don't play the savior. Don't build your worth around her validation. The more you orbit her suffering, the more you make her chaos the center of your universe. You weren't made to orbit pain. You were made to master it. Now let's move forward, because the next woman doesn't cry. She performs. Type 2. The fame addict. The woman who dates you just to boost her image. She doesn't want love. She wants visibility. Not a man, an accessory. Not intimacy, a backdrop to her personal brand. Every word she says is calculated. Every outfit chosen to be seen, not felt. Every moment lived more for strangers than for you. And here's what most men miss. She won't reject you directly. She'll just repurpose you into a cameraman, a photographer, a stage assistant for her ego. Imagine this. You plan a romantic dinner. She asks if the lighting is good enough for her story. You buy her flowers. She posts them with a caption that says nothing about you. She kisses you, but only after hitting record. Her smile belongs to the lens. Her happiness depends on engagement rates. Her loyalty shifts with the algorithm. You think you're dating a woman, but in reality, you're part of a broadcast. And when the numbers dip, she looks for a new co-star. Here's what Machiavelli understood. He who builds on the people, builds on mud. She's not rooted in anything real. Her self-worth is borrowed from the applause of strangers, and applause is fleeting. Here's your next move. Never compete with her followers. Never mistake attention for connection. Turn the phone off. Observe who she becomes when no one's watching. Because if her love disappears without a camera, it was never love. It was marketing. Now let's move forward. Because the next woman doesn't seek fame, she seeks dominance. Type 3. The secret competitor. The woman who acts supportive but secretly wants to beat you. She's elegant, charming. She laughs at your jokes. She says she believes in you, but something feels off. When you win, she gets quiet. When you talk big, she talks small, about you. When you rise, she shifts the energy. She won't attack you directly. She's too smart for that. Instead, she'll compete in the shadows, not with her words, with her energy. Picture this. You share a business idea. She says, "That's cool," but you always start things and never finish. You talk about your goals. She replies, "Well, I prefer stability over chasing dreams." You succeed, and somehow she finds a way to make it about her or about what she's doing next. She's not against your power. She's afraid of it, because your growth reminds her of what she's not doing. So instead of growing with you, she tries to keep things equal by dragging you down gently. Here's what Machiavelli knew. A wise ruler must disguise his intentions. And in this case, her intention isn't love, it's dominance, disguised as balance. She doesn't want a partner. She wants a scoreboard she can manage. What to do instead? Watch her reactions when you're winning. Not her words, her vibe. Does she light up with you or dim the moment? Does she cheer or change the subject? Because the woman who loves your power will want to rise with you, not keep you stuck so she won't feel small. Now let's move forward. Because the next woman doesn't want to compete with you. She wants to be rebuilt by you. Type 4. The fix-me girl. She wants healing, but only if you do the work. She walks into your life with a heavy past and makes sure you carry the bags. She tells you she's been hurt, that men never stayed, that she's different, but also damaged. At first, you feel chosen. You're the one she finally trusts. She opens up fast, cries early, and calls you her safe place. But here's the trap. She doesn't want healing. She wants attention that looks like healing. She doesn't want to grow. She wants you to make her feel better without changing a thing. Imagine this. You try to help her set boundaries. She says you're judging her. You suggest therapy. She says you're supposed to be enough. You offer support. But every week, it's the same meltdown, the same problem, the same story on repeat. You become her emotional parent. And just like a child, she starts to expect care without effort. Your life becomes one long emergency. Her growth becomes your project. And your ambition? It gets postponed every single time. Here's what Machiavelli understood. The wise man does at once what the fool does finally, meaning those who delay the hard work of change always drag others into their delay. And the truth is brutal. If a woman doesn't want to fix herself, no amount of love, patience, or support will make her ready. Here's what to remember. Compassion is powerful. But if you take full responsibility for someone else's healing, you sacrifice your own progress. You lose momentum, drive, clarity, until you're just another man who gave everything and got drained in return. Now let's move forward. Because the next woman won't cry, collapse, or vent. She'll take control, quietly, and never let go. Type 5. The emotional extortionist. She doesn't argue. She manipulates. She doesn't raise her voice. She lowers yours. She doesn't need facts. She has better weapons. Silence, guilt, tears. You'll never be in a real argument, because real arguments have logic. She creates chaos with emotions and makes you feel guilty for wanting peace. She doesn't seek truth. She seeks control, and she gets it by keeping you unstable. Picture this. She disappears for 2 days, then says, "I just needed space, but I guess you don't care." She cries in public when you set a boundary. So now, you're the bad guy. She says things like, "If you loved me, you'd just know." No clarity, just confusion and performance. And when you try to fix things, she forgives just enough to give you hope, only to reset the same emotional cycle next week. This isn't sensitivity, this is strategy. Here's what Machiavelli understood. It is better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both. She doesn't want your affection. She wants your hesitation. She wants you to fear upsetting her, because that fear gives her power. And here's the brutal truth. As long as you're trying to understand her behavior, she owns the frame. She sets the rules, and you're just reacting. So what do? You stop decoding. You stop explaining. You stop trying to calm a storm designed to confuse you. You protect your peace like it's your kingdom, because it is. And in your kingdom, no one gets to rule through emotional blackmail. Now let's move forward. Because the next woman won't scream or manipulate, she'll just slowly devour your time, your energy, and your future. Type 6, the phantom investor. She wants the benefits. Without ever paying the price, she talks like a teammate, but moves like a solo artist. She uses we when it's convenient, and me when it matters. In her world, your money is our money, but her money, that's her business. She loves ambition, as long as it pays now. She praises loyalty until something better shows up. And she'll talk about building a future, but never lifts a brick. Here's what it looks like in your life. She says, "Let's take a trip." But you book the flights, pay for the hotel, and carry the bags. She suggests nice dates, but never once reaches for the bill. She benefits from your effort, but questions your direction. And when you express concern, she flips it. You're supposed to be the man. Translation: you give, I receive. No questions allowed. This isn't partnership. It's parasitism, polished with pretty words. Here's the insight Machiavelli would give you. A wise ruler avoids what is costly and uncertain, and nothing is more costly than a woman who offers vision without investment. She wants the title without the role, the perks without the price. She consumes your time, your energy, your money, and calls it romance. So what's the move? Audit her actions. Track what she actually invests. Time, energy, ideas, money. Not what she promises. Because if she's not building with you, she's benefiting from you. And the longer you let it slide, the more you'll resent what was never mutual. Now let's move forward. Because the next woman won't just drain your wallet. She'll drain your masculinity and make you thank her for it. Type 7. The masked masculine. She wants your role, not your heart. This one is crucial, because in every dynamic, there's masculine energy and feminine energy, and you already know which one is yours. The moment you forget that, you become replaceable. She's driven, smart, impressive. She's got opinions, presence, control. But underneath all that fire, there's something colder, resentment. She doesn't want to build with a man. She wants to beat him, because somewhere in her past, a man failed her, and now you are her battlefield. Here's an example. She calls your ambition ego. She mocks your values with sarcasm. She says you're misogynistic or insecure as soon as you don't go her way. She flips every disagreement into a moral lesson. She says she wants equality, but in practice, she just wants dominance. She rejects protection and interprets leadership as control. She interprets assertiveness as threat. and she turns softness from a man into weakness, then despises him for it. This isn't partnership. It's a silent war over masculine space, a war you were never supposed to fight because you were meant to lead. Machiavelli saw it clearly. The prince must adapt to the times, but never lose his nature. If you bend too far, trying to please or keep peace, you lose the very thing she was secretly drawn to. Because no matter how loud the noise gets, masculine presence is what calms the storm, not submission. What's your power move? Don't react. Don't resist. Don't fight to prove. Lead calmly, decide firmly, and observe. If she celebrates your spine, she's aligned. If she resents it, she wasn't looking for a man. She was looking for a throne. Now let's move forward. Because the final woman isn't just a challenge to your peace. She's a threat to your destiny. Type 8. The power leech. She doesn't want a man. She wants a source of energy. She's attracted to your light, but not to build with it, to bask in it, and slowly make it hers. She doesn't argue like the others. She won't challenge your leadership. She'll do something far more dangerous. She'll admire you, just enough to stay close, until your fire stops burning for your purpose and starts burning for her approval. It starts small. She says she loves how focused you are. Then, she says you're never present. She says she's proud of your work ethic. Then, she complains that it's stealing time from her. She says, "I just miss you." But what she really misses is being your priority. Here's what it looks like. You cancel one meeting to make her smile, then two. Then you start questioning your own path. Not because it's wrong, but because you're exhausted and confused. She wants to be your reason, your cause, your center. Not your partner, but your mission. And if you allow that, your actual mission dies. Machiavelli would warn you, the man who builds greatness must choose between love and power, because rarely can he serve both. Translation: if she makes you choose between her and your growth, that's not love. It's control dressed in affection. What's your strategic move? You protect your path, not because you're selfish, but because your purpose feeds the kingdom, not just the queen. The man who bends too far to keep her happy ends up losing the empire he was born to build. Now let's close this chapter and anchor the final truth, so you never fall into these traps again. Now you know what to avoid. But survival is not the goal. Ascension is. So here's the truth every man must remember, no matter where he stands today. You don't rise by chasing approval. You rise by protecting your power. Every hour you spend with the wrong woman is an hour stolen from your mission, your clarity, your future empire. Toxic women don't come with warning signs. They come with softness, with validation, with dreams that look like yours until they aren't. They don't destroy you openly. They slow you down quietly, one emotional compromise at a time. But the man who remembers his edge, the man who trusts the silence behind her smile, who walks like his future depends on every step, he doesn't get drained. He doesn't get confused. He doesn't get owned. He gets respected, or he gets space. And either way, he wins. Because a man who filters his circle like a king, who honors his own rise more than her story, doesn't need validation. He becomes the standard, not a product of fate, but the author of it. If this opened your eyes, and you're serious about becoming the man who's in full control of his life, my book is now available. The Undeniable Man, Built to be Chosen. It's a strategic guide for men who want to attract, lead, and dominate in their love life and beyond. Whether you're single or in a relationship, no fluff, no tricks, just pure, powerful strategy that will set you apart from 99% of men, and that you will actually use every day. The link is in the description. And if this video spoke to you, don't just keep your thoughts in your head. Write a comment, even just a few words. It helps you remember these lessons, and it might help someone else too. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this content, and share it with someone who, in your eyes, needs it right now. Just trust your instinct. We're all trying to get clearer, more solid inside. So let's build minds that don't break.